Welcome to Finance Dojo. We aim to be the best personal finance educational channel you'll ever need. Click that subscribe button and the notification bell right now so you won't miss out. Could this easy Japanese money trick make your life so much easier when it comes to creating a budget? I'm going to explain to you the basics of the Japanese budgeting method known as Kakeibo. If you want financial security, want to save, or don't know where to start, I'll explain a budgeting method that could make your life easier. Hani Motoko, a Japanese journalist, started this technique in 1904. It examines how much money you bring into your home each month. Then it examines how much you spend in specific categories. And finally, it sets a goal for how much you want to save. Instead of doing or saving and spending on autopilot, it adds several manual steps, enabling us to examine how we are spending our money. 4 spending categories of Kakeibo. First, needs. Housing, food, and transportation are the essentials for survival. If you're aware of the tidying up craze that began at the beginning of this year, minimalism was very much the main part, along with spending with purpose and joy. And that's where these needs categories become extremely important to determine what you believe you truly need in life. Second, wants. That's different from your needs. This is mostly about things we own, but they do bring us joy and happiness. For example, we could get takeout lunches at work, we could buy extra clothes and shoes, or we could go to the cinema. Anything that brings us joy and happiness, but is not essential to our survival. Third, culture. This is a very essential part of the Japanese way of life, and it includes spending money on museums, theaters, and other cultural activities, as well as traveling or engaging in other adventurous activities. We're truly growing as a person as we travel the world and learn a little more about ourselves and others. Fourth, unexpected. When this occurs, you are truly dealing with a medical emergency, transportation emergency, or anything else out of the blue that cannot be planned for. To begin the process of creating a budget, you would first rank down the amount of money you have coming in for the month. We can't go over our budget, so we'll have to do our best to keep our spending under control. Then we would deduct all of the bills in the essentials category that we know are due in the next month. This would leave us with a total amount of money that we would ideally use to have fun and work toward our goals during the month. The next step, which is unique to this budgeting system, is tracking money. When we start our week, we'll have a clear idea of what we want to save and what we want to spend, and we'll keep track of all our purchases in a small notebook or diary that we can carry with us at all times. This will serve as our ledger for how we spend our money. Every time you make a purchase, whether with cash or a credit card, you record the amount spent as well as categorize it. You will note whether it's essential, wanted, cultural, or unexpected. They're adding that step so that I have to track your money instead of just tapping or spending it. You must be mindful and responsible for your purchases. It's a great extra step if you've made a lot of impulse purchases in the past. You should write down the date, what you spend the money on, and how much you spent it for a month or a week, and then leave it at that. The end of the week is a good time to take track of your purchases and note the category in which you allocated your money for those purchases. The important question is whether you truly succeeded in reaching your savings goal by taking the extra step of responsibility after declaring it at the beginning of the week. If you add up everything you spent over the week, did you truly reach your savings target? Whether it's for investing, saving, or paying off debt, get that day into the position that you want it to be. If you haven't fulfilled your goals but have a ledger of where you've spent money, you can look at this as impulsive buying or emotional spending. This technique is all about non-judgment and learning your spending habits. I'm taking a step back, perhaps at the end of the week or month. After 4 weeks, you can see the full cycle of your paycheck. Examine your spending, saving, and spending areas. It's really interesting when I do this technique. I find that a lot of our spending is on food items rather than traveling or cultural items. And when I'm able to track and see, I actually think to myself rate was, this habit that I was going into the shops, that I needed those items, or could I have spent better, gotten better quality food by perhaps doing a shot once or twice a week? How can you apply the Kakeibo method to your own life? If you want to see those habits and actions form with your money, you'll have to stick with it for the entire 7 days. But ideally, you'll be able to do so for the entire peace cycle. Make it your primary method of practicing mindfulness rather than something that makes you feel guilty about the money you spend. It's not about setting goals that are impossible to achieve for the amount of money you wish to spend and save every week. It's important to look at your finances and ask yourself, what do I think I could do better with this money? Or I have a much larger goal. I want to see if I want to invest this amount. So what's the actual amount that I need to save, and break that down doing as a weekly amount instead? If you're new to budgeting, this is a great way to see if it works for you or if budgeting your money would make a big difference in your life overall. Ultimately, if you want to invest, save, or work toward life goals like a home or a mortgage, you need to put these actions into your daily life, your week for life, and how you spend every single month. This budgeting method allows you to dip your toes in to see if you could commit and try this just for a little bit of time and see the huge benefits in your life, and that mindset of using your money for ideas that bring you joy and happiness. This Japanese strategy, known as the Kakeibo method, is truly the cornerstone for then pushing it a little bit deeper and focusing on achieving financial freedom and these other more significant life goals. I recently discovered that it's incredibly easy to grasp and get started with, but also highly successful in creating new habits that help you reach your long-term savings objectives. It's extremely enjoyable to spend money on something a little old school in reality. As always, this video is for educational purposes only and not financial advice. You should always do your own research and speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.